All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
And what's going on, everybody? I am here with my man, Coach. Busy day. We got a game going on. We had the NFL trade deadline pass. We got Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets and the NFL and the Jewish community. So a lot to get to. Do want to start with the game that is on Amazon Prime. We got Philadelphia, who's 7-0, currently tied with Houston, who's 1-5-1. Philadelphia does appear to be driving a bit, but a little more competitive than I think most people were expecting.
Absolutely.
In picking this game, obviously, I think we both would have went Philly. So my adjustment to that or amendment to that was, if the spread is -7, meaning Philly has to win by 8 or more, who would you pick?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said if the spread was -7.5, Philly, who would you pick?
I'm not really good with the gambling stuff, so that means that Philly has to win by 7?
Got to win by 8.
By 8. Yeah, I probably would have picked Philly. Yeah, okay. I would have picked Philly because I'm thinking that they will win by double figures because the Texans, to me, are like a dumpster fire. Like the level of dysfunction that goes on there is just almost Raiders level. So I didn't expect this game to be competitive at all because the way that the Eagles have been rolling, I just figured that this would be another step in that direction of what they have been doing.
Yeah, I think they've gotten off to a bit of a slow start. They are moving there now in the red zone, and they're moving pretty good. I will tell you, these Houston red helmets, I like those. Like them is all right. This
it's a lot of red going on.
It's a lot of red. I agree, but never mind. I'm not going to go there. So yeah, I agree. There's a lot of red. I just like the look of it. The shine on it is a good red.
No, I like the helmet. It's just I don't know, or maybe I like to see it with the blue to see how it plays off each other.
They got red pants on, so
yeah, that kind of lightens it up.
Yeah, but we do got to get into it. Got to get into it early. I have been a staunch defender of Kyrie Irving since last year, when certain people who will remain nameless used to lambast him and go at him and blame him. And I just felt that was ridiculous then. And I 100% stand in it now. I am not with bullying of any kind. And the irony of this whole situation to me is, wow, that we ran a quarterback sneak, but it was like a off tackle quarterback sneak. It was different. But the issue or the irony for me is these leaders in sports are acting like if you're a racist, you can't play in our league. And when has that ever been the case? Like, even if we're going to say Kyrie's an anti-Semite and he's a racist, so what? Like, is that now the standard for suspension because someone deems you to be a racist? Like, I think this is just excessive. I think this is unprecedented. I think it's disgusting. I think it's more of the same. And I'm shocked that we are here this fast in such a progressive world, in a progressive society where things are supposed to be so all inclusive. And the bar for racism is just really, really low for certain groups of people. And I think that's wrong. And I think that part needs to be addressed. And I don't think you should need to bully somebody into their beliefs. If he believes that, that's his belief. Disprove it. Everybody keeps saying it's not true. It's not true. Prove it's not true. Where are the facts to back up these claims that he's the one that's wrong? The onus is all on him to answer the questions. And I'm sick of it. It's been really hard to watch TV, especially because, as usual, the executives of these companies, and I will say this because it's factual, the Jewish executives of these companies have hired these black people to get on TV, and Charles Barkley just got a massive deal. What do you think he's going to say? The whole crew just got massive deals. What kind of objectivity do you think we're going to have when it's factually speaking, these companies are run by the people that are writing the rules? So we're just going to bully everybody into this one mindset? No. Every group of people has things that they're not proud of. And we have to own them. And we own them. In a lot of cases, it's monetized.
It was in this case.
So this high horse, that this invincibility, this mafia bully mentality, I have no use for it. And I say, Kyrie, I completely stand with you. I think there are a lot more people that stand with you that for whatever reason are not willing to say that they stand with you. And I think we're on a crash course that there's going to be fallout. And
it's already fallout. They suspended them 5 games.
At least 5.
Right.
The way it's read is basically until you apologize to our standard, you can't play in our league. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah, I'll let you finish it. Yeah, and I'll give my thoughts.
Like, how is Adam Silver going to have the authority to make this decision? And it was the Nets' decision. But the owner of the Nets is Jewish. So
I thought he was Asian.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Adam Silver was.
Adam Silver is Jewish, yes.
So, like, how can you expect a fair hearing? Or, like, it just continues to disappoint me as I've seen this anti-Semitism narrative draw out. And just for context, I'm not really one to do this, like, I have a black friend thing. Like, I've been to Israel. Like, I love and support the Jewish people. Like, that's a huge part of my faith. But we also have to be honest and realistic about what is happening. And this mind control that it has to all be one way, or we're going to beat you into submission by any means necessary, is ridiculous. And the fact that so many people are just going with the flow is disgusting. And it brings a lot of journalism into question over the years if this is how things have been covered, if this is how stories are being written, how much more was manipulated. Like, it's just sick to me. But I'm done for, I'll get out the way for a second, but I couldn't be more disappointed in the NBA for this level of stance on this issue. And the more we begin to microscope the NBA, the less and less progressive and free speech it looks like. Because I remember what happened with I think it was Daryl Morey in Houston. And I believe LeBron said something or did something at one point.
China, yes.
So the lines are clearly being drawn where in which they choose to be supportive. And that's just wrong. But I'm out.
All right, so what I will say initially is this is just a bunch of blame shifting we're not dealing with the real issue, and which is who created the content, or who put the content out, that this controversial content that we're all up in arms about. Where is all of the outrage towards Amazon for putting out this type of content? If it was so polarizing, if it was so demeaning, so degrading, why was it put out? We censor everybody else, i.e. Kanye West and things of that nature, because of what they say and what they stand for, that you consider to be offensive. Where is the outrage for Jeff Bezos and Amazon? You know why there's no outrage? Because it's money, because they're partners with the NFL. So they don't want to mess up that bag that the NFL is getting for the TV rights, because I'm sure that Adam Silver is talking to Jeff Bezos about bringing NBA over to Amazon Prime. I could almost guarantee you that somewhere down the line that we're going to see some type of TV partnership between Amazon and the NBA. So it's a bigger picture that people have to look at. And like I said, this is just about blame shifting. The man all he did was retweet. He never said, I agree with, I support, I endorse, nothing of that nature. So to ask him to apologize for a retweet is a total overreaction. When people was talking about suspension, I'm like, what for what? For a retweet? Like, and he said that and even, in the initial press conference, he said he's about love. He never said anything, anything disparaging, anything dismissive, anything offensive towards the Jewish community. So again, I just think this is a bunch of blame shifting, and he's becoming the scapegoat for the bigger problem is that no one wants to deal with, is that the corporate giant Amazon, they don't want to mess up that relationship. They don't want to burn that bridge because they know that there's money involved and there's money down the line. So that's what this is all about. And here's the other thing that I would say. I don't really talk about, my relationship with Kyrie and with Kyrie's dad, purposely and intentionally. But I'm going to say this. Like, I know Kyrie's dad better than I know Kyrie. I haven't seen Kyrie since he was in high school. But I talk to his dad all the time. Matter of fact, I texted him the other day, yesterday, when this all kind of blew up, and, just was saying, just showing my support, like, my thoughts and prayers are with you. I know this is annoying, blah, blah, blah. So I've known, him and my uncle are best friends. My uncle is Rod Strickland for anybody that's, new or have been watching the show. And shameless plug, KG Certified. Uncle is on there with KG chopping up. It was a real dope episode. Go check it out. Anyway, so I've known his dad, Dre Irving, since I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And so I'm gonna tell you the type of man he is. So in 2018, I lost my first wife. That's in the background. I lost her to liver and kidney disease at the age of 40. So, as I was going through my grieving process, I reached out to Dre, and because he lost Kyrie's mom, kind of similar. He had similar background, XYZ. So I, went to him for insight, went to him, talked to him, gave me some great advice. And then, just in casual conversation, I was like, yo, I had just bought the Kyries. I forgot which version of them it was. I was like, yo, these Kyries is fire. I love them. They're comfortable. He was like, yeah, thanks for supporting, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, yo, maybe I could, can you get some for my kids? He was like, oh, yeah. Because, for the people that don't know, I coach high school basketball, St. Joe's Academy in St. Augustine, Florida. He was like, yeah, I got you. Just let me know, when the season, when y'all get close to the season, just let me know, and I got you. So when the time came, I got everybody's, all the guys on the team shoe sizes. Of course, I got myself a pair. And he sent shipped the box to the school. The whole team was outfitted in Kyrie's for that season. He didn't know any of those guys, but just based off of our relationship, he did that for me. So, like, this is the stock that Kyrie comes from. Like, so to say that this guy is is, this kook or this wacko or this, this, that, and the third. It's just not true. The kid was an A student in high school. The kid got into Duke, and let me not say he's a grown man. He was an A student in high school. He got into Duke University, and we know how strict academically that school is. And I'm pretty sure at some point he's going to graduate from Duke with his degree, because him and his father made a pact when he went pro that he would finish his degree. So I'm just saying all this to say that we got to stop this whole thing about like this guy's a bad guy. No, he's a misunderstood guy, and he's just on a quest for knowledge. He's one of those guys, and I say sometimes he's too smart for his own good, but he's on a continual quest for knowledge. And so in doing that, you come across some things. Now, this is what I will say, is that you have to fact check, and he probably should have did a little more research before he, retweeted it. But even having said that, we all retweet, or we all look at some things at times that may be questionable. And sometimes we share it, and then we find out after the fact that, maybe that wasn't a good idea, or that wasn't you probably shouldn't have shared that, blah, blah, blah. So my point is that this to me is one of those incidents that has got blown totally out of proportion. Like the fact that he already donated $500,000 to this I forgot the name of the organization.
The Anti-Defamation League, I believe.
Yeah, and as well as the Nets. And so now what? So now he's got to do more? Like, when is enough enough? Like, what do you want from this guy? Like, so I just think this is a total overreaction, and it's also it amplifies, or it just shows how hypersensitive we are as a society, that we just get offended about things that really is not really that. It wasn't really that serious, in my opinion. And this is just me talking. That a retweet is no reason to say the guy is anti-Semite. To me, that's a leap, and it's a total leap, and this is just totally out of bounds. And I just think it's just going too far. And here's the last thing I'll say. Kyrie, knowing his dad is a man of principle. Kyrie is a man of principle. He cost himself millions of dollars last year off of a principled stance that he took not to get vaccinated. So if you think that this suspension is going to get him to, back down, or to change his position, or he's going to, sell out, or whatever the term you want to use, you got another thing coming, because that's just not how he's built.
And that really warms my ears to hear that, because when I woke up today and I saw the statement and then the 500,000 donation, I was like, oh, they got him. They put him back in his box. They put him back in his place. And then I was watching Undisputed, which, man, the fall for grace. The fall for grace for Shannon Sharp. And he was on there today trying to defend himself, because he feel it and he hear it, because he know he wrong. But he got to play a part. He got to play his part. And I expect that from people like Stephen A. I expect it from Charles Barkley. But for the longest time, he was supposed to be one of us. He was supposed to be the cool, the the standard for urban culture. Don't put the do-rags and the black and milds and all that stuff on. And then when you get on TV, now that you got your little liquor, now you got your podcast popping. Now you forgot. Now we don't get all the props no more. Now you didn't change.
Calling him Roy Jones. You must have forgot.
Like, the change up is real. And I wish it was a world in which they could just shut up. Like, you ain't got nothing good to say. Just keep your mouth shut. Because you make it look worse than it really is. Because they're waiting for your opinion, and you just validate the idiocy that they're trying to push on people. And you got to live with that. So I hope your conscience can rest in the fact that the stuff he's saying ain't a lie. And even if there's some stuff in the video, and I have not seen it.
Neither.
But it's hard for me to believe that everything in it is a lie. Just an entire collection of lies.
And again, why would Amazon allow something like that on their platform if it was something that was that much of a lie?
It's a valid question.
Is Jeff Bezos not Jewish? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look that up.
And it looked like we had a Houston Texans touchdown, but I don't know if they're gonna say he completed the process of the catch. It came loose there at the end, so I'm not sure. But if so, it'll be a tie game, or it'll be 13-14, and we'll be waiting for the extra point. So we'll wait on the review before and see what we get out of it. But I think there's a lot of people specifically on this issue who haven't spoken up. And I haven't heard a lot of people in the league speaking up. I hear a lot of post-career athletes speaking up.
They're worried about their brand and mess with their money.
And the way in which you're trying to make yourself marketable is to alienate and step on another black man. Like that's your standard. Like, that's sick. I saw Amari Stoudemire just had a comment. Just apologize. No. Apologize for making movies like Till. Why do they get to make movies like that about us? Why does Hollywood, and do your research on who founded MGM, who founded Warner Brothers, Disney, all of Hollywood and those big organizations and even the smaller ones that they've bought. So what are we supposed to do with that? As an athlete, we love the Colin Kaepernicks of the world after the fact. And quiet as it's kept, everybody now and nobody wants to bring up the vaccine stance Kyrie took because they know he was right. New York State back paid all those people, and I hope he got his money back.
And they reverse stance right around baseball, right around the time baseball was about to get started. Why? Because it was.
Imagine Aaron Judge not playing this year.
Exactly.
Like, imagine.
They knew how much money that would cost them in terms of attendance. One of my favorite movies is Casino. And anytime, and there's a quote, and there's a line in there. Anytime you got any questions, just follow the money. Anytime you want to get an answer to something, 9 times out of 10, all you got to do is follow the money.
It's sad. And it's not hard. And I genuinely hope the harder they push, there's some people out there that's going to start digging. And we live in a world where people dig. And I'll kind of skip around a little bit, but that brings me to Washington. Daniel Snyder came out real defiant. And now he's talking to Bank of America about trying to sell the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people start digging, and now there's a criminal probe into alleged financial implications or improprieties.
Government's involved.
That was a phone call that was made. The same way Adidas got a phone call and Gap got a phone call and Balenciaga got a phone call about Ye. Somebody got, some governor, some executive, somebody got a phone call about Daniel Snyder. And now Daniel Snyder got a fight on his hand. Yeah, it was a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a dime.
So it's so weird. Like, people are just so ignorant to it.
But
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but the problem is that, and this is what I'm afraid of, is that Kyrie is going to go down the saying they're gonna do Kyrie just like they did Kaepernick, like they did Mahmoud, Abdul Rauf. What up, Dev? Stay up. We hold it down till you come back. I'm afraid that he's going to go down that path and wind up getting blackballed out of the league. So it's crazy.
And this is where more of the frustration comes in. Cool. We don't want him in the league. For me, I look at three people. I look at Kyrie, I look at Ye, and I look at Ice Cube, and one more person, and I look at Nick Cannon. Four very wealthy people that have had a similar issue with a similar community.
Mm-hmm. We saw the results.
Together.
But we saw what happened. We saw what it cost them.
But Ice Cube just came out and basically they were trying to sell. I don't know if you got an email. They were trying to sell parts of the big three to like people you could buy into it, all of which was a means to raise funds. Ice Cube just came out and said ESPN and the NBA keep trying to step on the big three. Or not the ESPN, the NBA. Or was it ESPN? It was the NBA and somebody else keep trying to step on the big three and won't let it flourish, make it really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Kyrie and I'm the people that think like Kyrie, the big three is a growing option. It can evolve. Is the money going to be there? No, but to your initial point, I don't think money is going to drive someone like Kyrie. The people that are willing to take up this fight are not driven by money because they're going to lose a lot of it.
Absolutely. But that's where principle comes in. Like you have to, you look at Muhammad Ali, look how much money he lost for the stance that he took against the war, back in the day. In order to take a principled stance, like you have to be willing to, it's going to cost you something. Like, so he's, and like I said, he's a principled man. His father's a principled man. He comes from a principled family. So he's going to stand on what he believes in. And he doesn't care he doesn't care about the opinions of the general public. Like that's the least of his concerns. So he's going to do what he thinks is right and deal with the consequences.
I definitely agree with you. You would know better than me. I hope he's staying strong in this. I hope outside of what the cameras are showing, I hope he's getting the love and support, the text, the just general love that he needs. Because
love is always going to outweigh hate at the end of the day.
I just watched. Ye is one of my favorite artists of all time. I watched what they did and continue to do to him based on a tweet. Who knew 2 tweets could be so polarizing?
The power of social media, man.
And how blind people could be to the tweets. Neither tweet. One wasn't even Kyrie saying anything. Like
that's my problem. A retweet is supposed to. Now, did he quote any? And did he, because there's two types of retweets. There's a retweet where you just retweet what somebody else said. Then there's a quote tweet where you say something on top of the tweet. Now, I didn't see it, and they said that it was deleted. It was just a retweet, correct?
I do not think it was a retweet. He tweeted a link to the video.
Oh, okay.
But there was no caption. There was no, this is what you need to know. Right, this is the truth.
So that's my point. Right?
It was just here. And that was the part that was annoying watching Shaq talk. And normally I'm a Shaq fan, but people keep saying you need to go get educated. He went and got educated. He went and found information that he believes to be true. He
So
did
wasn't,
exactly
in
what
other
you're
words, he
saying to
wasn't
do.
supposed to share it. In other words, he wasn't supposed to share it. It
So
was supposed
because
to
the
just,
information he found you don't like. No, don't. You need to get more education. No,
yes,
no, I don't. I know what I know what I know to be true. And I'm going to stand in that. And just basic science would tell you, duh. Like, it's just been appalling to see the blindness of such respectable people. Like that,
yeah,
and like you want to know how crazy it got? And I'll joke this to myself. I took actually I'm going to share it, and I would put it up, but it might take I don't know if I can put it up in time. I'm just going to read it, and then I'll try and show it. I, under no circumstances, am a Jason Whitlock fan. Like, I think he is the worst, an absolute joke. But I found myself today, because of these recent events, agreeing with Jason Whitlock. And
that's crazy.
And if you know me, y'all would know that would never happen, because I have absolutely no use for anything that he has to do or say. But I was trying to put it up for you guys. So here we go. Let me see if I can pull it, the tweet. But it was spot on. And I couldn't believe it was him that said it. And so I was scared to post it because I don't want to feel like I'm supporting him, because I can't stand him. But this is what he had to say. Remember, Kyrie and Kanye, the next time these bought and paid for Negroes in the media act like they loved Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, JFK, MLK, or anyone who actually challenged the establishment. They bow to Amazon, China, Nike, and godless elites' idolatry. So I didn't have that in my Jason Whitlock tweet bag, but it resonates with me that is where we are. We hear so often, and this is true of Martin Luther King in his lifetime. His publicity rating was miserable up until the point he died. He was hated by most people while he was still here, which is why they killed him. And we have this revisionist history, the same thing they did with Colin Kaepernick, who now is a martyr, but he's highly celebrated. He's highly glorified for the stance he took.
After he got that money.
After he got his money. Once it was blatantly obvious.
Once they paid him off, then it was okay.
Yeah, but I also think George Floyd made it impossible to argue against what he was talking about. Like, that was as blatant and obvious and apparent of everything Colin had been standing for, that you couldn't, in good conscience, as I believe today, speak against that there's not police brutality. I believe the same is true with this. First will be the vaccine. There is going to come a day where the Kyrie Irvings of the world will be vindicated for their stance on this. I just know there's a ton of information that will eventually come out. And secondly, this wave of anti-Semitism, history, in my opinion, will not look favorably on this time period, because it's just too blatantly obvious and one-sided. And I think there's a short-term goal for some people in hopes that they will reap a reward, but they're going to feel it. Because one thing about our culture is we appreciate authenticity. we when it comes to real stuff, like we might wear some knockoff designer, but authenticity as a person is paramount. And when you start dancing for them, you can't really come back over here like that. Not and talk the same way. Not and get the same love at the cookout, so to speak. I get why you're doing it. Get your money. But I also recognize that that's what type of person you are. And whatever that is, that's now your price.
Yeah.
And for people that, all these people, like Reggie Miller's already rich. Shaq's rich. Chuck is back to being rich. They don't need the money to take this hard line of a stance. But they did it anyway. And that's just really sad.
Well, only thing, my last two things on it is, one, all money ain't good money.
Facts.
And then the other part is that when you know, for lack of a better term, get in bed with you know, people of that ilk, of that nature, once they are, and you know, we see it in corporate, I've seen it in corporate America all the time. Once you become expendable, or once you are not benefiting them in the way that they want you to benefit, they discard you like a piece of trash. So, you know, you got to be careful who you, you know, what side of the fence that you get on, because if you're trying to you know, engender or to try to foster or to cultivate or whatever the term you want to, with your quote unquote brand partners, and you know, once you cross them, they're gonna X you out of there. So good luck. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, and then these people with like these the backgrounds and histories, like the audacity of someone like Charles Barkley to have this moral high ground on an issue you don't know nothing about. Like it's really disgusting to me.
Yeah, we're not going. No, I was gonna say we're not going to look at because we could pull skeletons out of the closet, or you could look at the past of Charles Barkley. You know, it's the same guy that says I'm not a role model. So like, we're not going to sit here and talk about him like he's some, you know, some paragon of virtue.
Agreed. But that does lead to on the court, and now it's escalated to the point Kyrie Irving will not be there. Ben Simmons is, by all accounts, on the trade block. Kevin Durant has not really been Kevin Durant this year. They just fired Steve Nash. They're going to try and go get Ime Udoka. By all accounts, that should be a done deal at any moment. What the heck's going on in Brooklyn?
I don't even know if that's still going to be a done deal, because, like, if I'm Ime Udoka, as bad as I may want to get back, I don't know if I want to get into this, you know, go into this circus, because this is levels of dysfunction, of unprecedented levels of dysfunction. So I don't know if he's going to even want to get parts of this. He might want to just go ahead and sit out the rest of the year, and then, you know, see what other job opens up, because we know that there's going to be a job that's going to open up next year. So I don't know, but I will say this. So again, you know, I don't do this all the time, but so I have to give you a little insight or little things that I know. And I'll just say this, that they want, you know, like the report said, that the players want Udoka. They do want him there. I do know that for a fact. And then I also know that the reason that they want him there is because of his ability in the film room. Like, he's one of those, he has a you know, a great ability in the film room to show these guys on film the things that they're, you know, holding them accountable. And then the other thing is what, in other reports that have said, he's not afraid to get in those guys' faces and not afraid to hold them accountable. And I think that's what the downfall was for Steve Nash, you know, along with his inexperience, was that he was just, you know, he was the kumbaya guy. He never, you know, he always wanted to, you know, be Mr. Positive, and sometimes, as a coach, sometimes you got to put your foot in guys behind. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a pro, so you can only do it but so much. But you got to hold them accountable. Like, you have to let them know when what they're doing on the court is not helping the team, or show them in the film room the different things that they're doing that's not helping the team. So, that's why they want Udoka. And, we'll see if it happens. It sounds like it's a done deal, but, after what happened just now, today, I'm not so sure. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I'm Ime, I don't know if this is the situation I necessarily want to walk in, especially if you don't necessarily feel how they're going to want you to feel about this topic, and they start asking you questions, then you got to make a decision. So I am very curious to see how this plays out. I do believe that I think Brooklyn's going to be bad for a long time. I think it's been a failure. I think you need to blow it all the way up. And I don't know, and that brings me to the question I want to double back to is, this was Kyrie's last year of his deal. Do you think someone else will sign him if he does not apologize?
No, I don't. Well, now let me backtrack. My fear is no. Of course, there could always be a renegade or somebody that goes against the grain, that wants to, be different or dare to be different. And but I just think that this is going to be one of those. This is going to be like the third strike, so to speak. Whereas people are going to, these owners are going to band together, similar to Colin Kaepernick, and it won't. Of course, it won't be collusion. It will be subtle. They won't, they won't do anything to like the NFL to cause themselves to be sued in court. But it'll be, unofficial, official blackball. That's what I'm afraid of, and that's all I think is going to happen. Either that, or he's going to have to take a drastic pay cut. One or the other. Like, they're going to use this as leverage. That I know for sure. They're going to use this as leverage in one way, shape, or form. That I will say for sure.
I think the issue that they'll run into, and it's all subjective, is most people felt they could hide behind that Kaepernick can't play. You can't hide behind the fact that Kyrie Irving can't play.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's a free agent with his caliber and his resume, and nobody attempts to sign him, I don't know. It's always hard to prove, but man, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I also say this really quick, that I'm sure that the NBA Players Association is going to have some involvement in this, because to your point, that
and he's the vice president of the Players Association.
Yeah, he's one of them. So like, I'm sure they're going to have some say so in this as well. So if, to your point, that if there is this quote unquote effort to collude by the owners to not sign him, then I'm sure that they're going to get involved.
Yeah. Whew. Interesting times. So we will take a break from that. Appreciate y'all checking in with us, staying tuned in. But it was just it's only right that we have a discussion. Can't promise we won't go back to it. But I do want to get into the NFL, get some picks and things going. So as it stands this year, just everybody, quick update. Dev is 14-18. Kenny is 18-19. I, an illustrious 25-12. And Chris, a meddling 9-7. So
we was gonna get some shots at some point. We got too far in the show. I think this is a record. This is the longest it's ever taken you to throw a shot.
I just, get to it when the time is right, and I cannot tell a lie. With that being said, we have Atlanta and Cincinnati. I think if you would have asked either of us at the beginning of the year who we got, it would have been very clear. We have Cincy. However, times changed. Marcus Mariota has Atlanta in position to win the division, earn himself some money. And I don't know that Jamar Chase will be back. I think he's still going to be out.
Mm-hmm.
Cincy did not look great in their last game. So, who you got?
Man, the Bengals are out here bangling the way because soon as you think that they had turned the corner, like they just going back to being the Bengals, man. I can't figure this. Another team I can't figure out. Like they still have weapons. You still have T. Higgins. You still have man, I can't think of the other wide receiver's name. Tyler Boyd. Yeah, you still got Mixon. You got the Hayden, I believe is the tight end.
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst. Like you still got offensive talent that should be able to get the job done. But this offensive line, man, it was supposedly, been addressed in the offseason, and I'm not seeing any type of progression in terms of them improving in that offensive line because he's just getting hit way too much. And so I'm just going to ride with the hot hand. I'm going to go with the momentum, and I'm picking Atlanta.
Wow. I did not think you had it in you, Kenny.
Yeah, I can't believe in the Bengals right now.
So here's where I'm stuck. I agree with you. I think Atlanta right now is playing better than Cincinnati. However, I picked Cincy to win the division. And I picked Tampa Bay to win their division. So I'm going to go Cincy because I need Cincy.
I ain't doing that no more. That's been costing me.
And I typically try to stay away from that myself.
But you got to lead so you can play around a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't like being wrong anyway.
Who does?
I don't want to say Joe Burrow has regressed. I'm not going to go that far. It's hard to critique him because he's running for his life. But there's too much talent on that offense for them to be playing like this. And it's about to be money time. He better tighten up because it's about to be money time. So I'm going Cincy. But in Dev, I got you in there at Cincy too. So the next game, we got, man, what a disappointment these two teams are. The Vegas Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, mercy.
ETN went off last week. Not enough. The talent is there. Calvin Ridley will be on the way next year. I think that was a heck of a trade. A great deal for them. Man, did Atlanta fumble that between Julio and Ridley. And even Kyle Pitts up until the one game he finally played well last week. I am going Vegas. I don't know what's wrong with Vegas. The talent, the skill positions are playing decent. Josh Jacobs has been pretty good this year.
He has. Very good.
Devontae Adams has still been pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Waller's been pretty good this year. I don't know. Derek Carr hasn't been great. He's been, but they've been in games. I can't figure it out. And I'm the same way about Jacksonville. Christian Kirk started this year like he deserved every dollar he got.
Not a number one.
And I think that's why they made the
but we knew that from the jump, though.
Yeah, but it didn't look like that out the box.
No, he looked really good.
And he's coming back down to earth.
Yeah.
And this next generation of quarterback.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one for me. To me, that's the because the way he's turning the ball over, that's really hurting their chances of winning games.
Cannot do it. So,
and this Philly offensive line, this vaunted Philly offensive line, they're getting worked right now.
Yeah. We agree. And Dev is going to go Jacksonville. Kenny, who you got?
No, I'm going Vegas. Again, the issues offensively, and then the mental issues in terms of the Jaguars are just seeming like they're still in that finding ways to lose as opposed to finding ways to win stage. So, and I think Vegas has got to turn it around at some point. And I think this is the time they're telling me, this is the week that's telling me to turn it around. So I'm picking the Raiders.
Okay. So let's say the Raiders lose. At what point does Josh McDaniels need to get his resume ready?
Listen,
this is a disaster.
Listen. If they lose this game to the Jaguars, I would not be surprised if you see for sale signs put on his lawn, because that, Las Vegas that'll be a disaster of epic proportions, in my opinion, because again, you're a struggling team that you're trying to get back on track. And this is the quote unquote tailor-made game that you would think to help you get back on track. Young team, struggling quarterback, everything pretty much is lined up for you for this to be a rebound game. So if you lose this, man, all of that seat is going to be so hot. I don't know what he's going to do.
And the worst part for it is, if they were 2-5 and the division is what we thought the division would be, you can live with that. But Denver and LA been down. It has not been that just gauntlet of talent.
The only consistent team has been Kansas City.
And then I look at the rest of the AFC. The North has not been great. The South is not great. You got the East that's competitive, but
that's probably the best division in the quite as kept.
So you got to do a little more than this. So yeah, I think they got a hard road ahead of them. But Miles Sanders has been running wild.
Yeah, I got both. I got the football and the NBA game going on both of my devices. And Jamal Murray, a few plays ago, just banged on two dudes from OKC. So I'm sure you'll see that in the highlights. It was nasty.
Okay. Look at that. Okay. So yeah, that's what we got for that game. Let's keep it moving. We're gonna move on to Buffalo and the Jets. And normally I would run to Buffalo. And I'm still going to do that. I like the Jets. I keep saying I like the Jets. Wilson's not there. He's turning the ball over too much. And Buffalo's just rolling. I think they just got better at the trade deadline. I think they are the team to beat. They are, in my opinion, the definitive team to beat. Hey, Miles Sanders, you can't be dancing and dodging. You got to hit the hole there, bro. Second and inches. You got to get downhill. Throwing too much dancing now. Same problem. It's the NFL. Devin has Buffalo as well. Kenny, are you on board with us, or you going to?
Yeah, of course. Buffalo was my Super Bowl. It's my Super Bowl pick. So, I'm using your logic that I'm not going away from it. And the fact of the matter is that this was probably the most potent offense we have in this league right now. And with Von Miller doing what he does on the defensive end, and now they're getting their cornerback back. I think this is just this is really everything is lining up for this to be the Bills' year. So I don't think that stops this week.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you there. And Philly does convert barely. A 3rd and 1.
Man, talk about a shocker, man.
So
it's good for us. Keep struggling.
Yeah.
They had to come back to earth. But you know what though? They had to come back to earth at some point because they were kind of as quote unquote dominant that they have been. You knew they would do for a dud at some point. So I think this might be it.
Oh, he was down in the backfield, and Philly did not rush to get the snap off. They're going to be short. It's going to be 4th down. They're going to have to punt or go for it.
Yeah, I'm a little behind you.
Okay. We'll go to the next game. I've only been saying it. How long have I been saying it, Kenny? How long have I been singing the Taylor Heineke praise?
Oh, my gosh.
Taylor
Heineken.
Taylor Heineke. Listen, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's Joe Montana.
I can't tell.
I'm just saying he was better than Carson Wentz. And I said, if he start the season.
You're right, Dave. You're right.
If he start the season, we would be contending for the playoffs. And here we are. And
you was doing all right till you were doing all right until you said that.
We could be better than the Giants with Taylor Heineke. You can't convince me we couldn't be better than the Giants. Sorry. We win that game with Taylor Heineke at quarterback. We were winning in spite of Carson Wentz. And let me tell you,
I will agree with you.
Taylor is going to throw you one. He going to give it to you. But he going to come and get it back. And the resume and the legend continues to grow. I don't believe that we've played Kirk Cousins since he's left, or I don't remember playing Kirk Cousins since he has left. But let me tell you, I think the Vikings are going to win.
Man,
I just
continue.
I think they're the better team. And we're a little banged up. And I don't know. But I'm picking my Commanders.
I was about to say.
I will not relent. I will not back down. Kirk Cousins, your time is coming, buddy. Just know that even though I picked y'all to win the division because Aaron Rodgers is a choke artist and a bum, I can afford to lose a game.
No, we're just gonna stop being disrespectful.
Not a lie has been told since I pushed to start broadcast.
Aaron Rodgers is a bum?
Have you watched him play this year?
Has he been a bum? That's my question.
By his standards, he's terrible. The team's awful.
Okay.
That's why
I'm gonna let you have it.
That's why they didn't make any trades, because they know we're going nowhere. The goose is cooked. Kenny, who you got?
I got to give you credit for the 52 fake out, because you really had me going there. I thought you was about to pick Minnesota, and I was going to let you have it, boy. Because
you pick against Dallas all the time, so you can't.
No, I don't sing praises for 10 minutes and then pick against the Cowboys. I get right to it. You were singing that. You sang a whole. You dropped a hot 16 when it came to.
I just spit the facts. That's all I did. I just shared facts for the people that may not be watching what he's doing. That's all. Okay. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, I'm gonna be short and to the point. I'm picking Minnesota as well. I just think that, if we're doing unit by unit and, offense, defense, special teams, I just think offensively, that's the separator. That's the one that they're saying that there's levels to it. And I just think Minnesota just has too many weapons. And here's the other part. We know that the one of the weakest units in Washington's team was that secondary. So
we got William out of there. There's new life.
Okay.
Oh, interception! Philadelphia Eagles, and they're running it back inside the red zone.
They needed that.
Already got him.
Yeah, they needed that. But yeah, I just think that because of the weakness of the Washington secondary, as well as the receiving core of Minnesota being the strength of their team, I'm just picking strength against weakness, and that's why I'm picking Minnesota. That, and I need Justin Jefferson to have a big week for me in fantasy.
Now he's going to have a good game. I'm pretty confident about that. But the dub goes to the Commanders. Also, we did want to report there are talks. Jeff Bezos and a Jay-Z partnership could be your new Washington Commanders owners.
I love it.
Now, we did have a discussion off air about the ability of that, given the Amazon deal. So we'll follow that to see if there's an option.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? It's probably, now that I think about it, it's probably going to be similar to how with Ballmer having to divest of his. I think it was Ballmer that he had to do something in terms of his ownership of Microsoft, because I think that at the time that they were a brand partner with the league, so I think he had to let go of some of his. I think he had to lower his. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know he had to do something in order to be able to buy the Clippers. So I think it's going to be something similar to if Jeff Bezos was going to be able to make this deal, because my thing was being concerned about the conflict of interest of them having a network deal with Amazon Prime and then him owning a team. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I was reading an article that said some believe Bezos could aid Snyder's pursuit of a new stadium and even with an Amazon sponsorship, because you got to also realize Amazon's huge here now. People don't really think about it.
They're huge everywhere.
There's no, but I'm saying there's like headquarters and facilities here.
Okay.
Like there's a huge distribution center in my county that
they have one here in Jacksonville as well.
And I know there was a bid back and forth between New York and place, and they picked Northern Virginia as well. Mm-hmm. Their big headquarters, their East Coast regional headquarters, is now in downtown Crystal City area.
Gotcha.
So I also know that he owns a lot of houses in this area for reasons privately. I just know. So there is a lot of opportunity there. The Jay-Z piece kind of threw me off. I didn't know how that connection necessarily worked. I'm going to say congratulations if that happens. I would say the people of New York, that was kind of bittersweet when he was an owner there and the things that he did within that community. So I'm not exactly running to jump at this for him. I think it's a great win, but he hasn't exactly, led me to believe that this will be this groundbreaking revolution for other minorities. But we'll see. We will see.
Well, we got to start somewhere, so this would be a start.
That we'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep it moving on to the next game. We have what you would thought was going to be the game of the year potentially, in Tampa Bay and the Los Angeles Rams. Tom Brady is divorced. Terms have been finalized.
That was fast, boy.
That chapter, man, I was reading an article about the assets that had to be divided. It's good to be rich. I can go wealthy, like wealthy. So I think that will play a role here. I think Cooper Kupp is going to be a little banged up, and Cam Akers, I guess, is going to be back. He did not get traded, but the Rams just look like a team that's just not there. So I'm going Tampa. I think Tom is going to be on a mission, like of all missions, and I think this is a good opportunity to get a dub. So I'm going Tampa. Devin, I see you going Rams. Kenny, who you got?
I'm going Tampa as well, especially with Cooper Kupp, that situation, and him being either out or being potentially hobbled. We leave that to you, Jay. You got you guys are doing that. We're football and basketball over here. But good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Nobody cares about the cheaters or the Phillies. Okay.
But yeah, I think that this may be a blessing in disguise for the Bucks. The fact that now that Tom kind of has this personal thing, this personal issue, it's kind of hanging over him. Now there's some closure to it. I think this may kind of free his mind up. It may get the distractions, that all of that out of the way, and so now that he can just focus on football. And I think that that this could be the time where they right the ship and get things back on track. And I think more so, I'm just not. Something's wrong with the mojo with the Rams. So, and of course, I have just watching Stafford. He just doesn't see his rhythm. All of that is just not there. I think they've been force feeding the ball to Cooper Kupp, and the chemistry is just not right. And so I don't think that this is. I'm just going with Tampa because I have too many concerns about the Rams.
Yes, indeed. Jason, I did see the combined and no hitter.
Yeah, you guys just talked about that on Unscripted, so I'm sure you covered it from A to Z.
And that's cute and all, but we talk real sports over here on Real Talk. No, but I'm rooting for the Astros. God, I don't want the Phillies to win the World Series.
I'm because we're tri-state area guys or northern guys, and also me being a Yankees fan, I can't not root for. There's no way I'm rooting for the Astros after the way they cheated. So you can forget that. So
you're rooting for the Phillies?
Yeah, I'd rather root for the Phillies than them cheating Astros. That's for sure. Especially after they cost us a chance at the World Series. I'm not rooting for them.
The better team won. You can't be a hater just because the better team won.
Whatever. They cheated. I don't care. But now Actually, really, I just want to see the Phillies win just so I can mess with Jay Loving.
That's
so that's really the main thing. So,
just quick update: Houston is going back down the field. Dameon Pierce is running like a madman.
He is running hard.
They are bringing the physicality to Philadelphia. That is for sure. So maybe,
okay, I'll tell you this: if y'all win this championship, then we'll stop the cheating talk. Okay, got to win it first.
Yeah, got to win it. Don't choke it away.
Right.
I haven't checked to see how Verlander's done. I know
it don't mean a thing. All this making history don't be on the other side of history. Don't be the team that wins that has a no hitter and then loses the series. Like, please don't be that, because you'll never hit the end of that.
Jay, I don't think so, but it's definitely possible. I hope not, because I picked the Eagles to win the division. So go Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly.
And, we're only a game behind. So definitely let's go Texans.
Oh, jeez. All right. So you went Tampa as well. So then we got another game that I was concerned early on about Tennessee, but they seem to have righted the ship. Malik Willis had an uneven start, which is to be expected. They ran the ball a lot. Derrick Henry is definitely about to earn his money the second half of the year until Tannehill's back, and he was going to probably earn it either way. And Jason, I thought the Astros were the favorite, so I don't even know if it's considered an upset. But
no, he's talking about the Texans.
Oh, yeah, no. We're not doing that either. Georgia's going to be in the national championship, so the rest of which is.
No, I'm interested in watching that game because that young quarterback in Tennessee, he seems like he's the truth.
Yeah, I hear you. I just Bulldogs all day. So yeah, I'm going to. Can they run the ball? I don't know. Do you know what a game is off the top of your head?
No, but I could check.
All right, let me see. I got it pulled up too. It looks like it is at Kansas City Sunday night. At Kansas City Sunday night, I'm going Kansas City. I don't think Willis gonna go on the road and beat Pat Mahomes at home.
Yeah,
I think that's asking a lot for that. So I'm gonna go Kansas City there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I just think that even though the Chiefs are not as explosive as they were in the past with Tyreek Hill, they're still putting up points and they're still being productive. So and I just think if you get down 2 scores, this game is pretty much over because, when you got a young quarterback and you're trying to win the game, controlling the clock, anytime you get down 2 scores, that basically kills your whole game plan. So I just don't think they have a plan B. So for that reason, I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay. Now I'm with you and Dev. We got you in there, Chiefs. So last but not least, we're going to go to Dev's team. We got Baltimore and New Orleans. Andy Dalton has managed to win the starting job. It appears from Jameis Winston at this point as he continues to start and Jameis is back healthy. Absolutely. Huge contender. Well, we're going to get to those in a minute. But for me, I like the moves Baltimore made. I like them at the deadline. I think they were good moves. I think they shored up some areas. So
yeah, we know you picking that.
Yeah, we that's a gimme.
Right.
So I am going to go Baltimore, but I am not nearly as confident as I want to be, especially with the way that Baltimore's defense is playing. I'm hoping that that was a lot of contact. I'm hoping that this will get them jump started and get them going. But to your point, the AFC East got a lot better at the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens. And we talked about Joe Burrow. Mac Jones is another one that it's about to be time. So definitely going to go there. Kenny, who you got?
Oh man, I think this is going to be a really close game. And I'm going to go Baltimore. I just think Andy Dalton's going to be the one to make that ill-fated decision or that mistake, that costly mistake at the wrong time. That's going to cost New Orleans the game. But I think this is going to be a slugfest in terms of, you got the defense of the New Orleans against the running game and the attack of Lamar Jackson and the crew. So I think this is going to be a chess match, and I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I just think this is going to be one of those, go all the way down to the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and I just think that the Ravens pull out a close game.
Okay. Yeah, should be good. I look forward to it, and we are all looking at Baltimore. So Baltimore, get it done. So I do want to get back to. We talked about Brady and some of his struggles, and I think initially, I said Rodgers is a bum and all that. So you know how I feel. I think there's a real possibility. We only see one of these guys next year. So I'm going to read off some names. You tell me how many you think will be starting quarterbacks in the league next year. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff.
I think 2. And I think mainly for monetary reasons. I think Aaron Rodgers, and appreciate that, Jay. Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, I think, are going to be the 2 starting quarterbacks next year. I don't think that there's any question that Tom Brady is done after this year. He probably shouldn't even came back, to your point. But
wait a minute. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
I don't think it's any question that he's done, especially now that he's going to have to, co-parent and have the, the situation.
You think Tom Brady cares about parenting?
You got to stop, man. You got to stop. Oh, damn, we miss you, bro. That was such a fun to light it up. But, man, no, yeah, I don't think that I don't think he comes. This is it for him. He's going to go into the booth because that's going to give him, again, I believe, more time to be able to spend with what he should have spent this season. But that's not the here nor there. It's going to give him more time to spend with his family. He's not going to be on the practice field or in the film room every day. Of course, he's still going to watch film to break down games to prepare to broadcast, but that's nowhere near the time commitment that you have as a player or as a coach. So, ask me how I know. But anyway. I think the money that Denver owes Russell Wilson, the money that Green Bay owes Aaron Rodgers, I think is going to lead them to give them one more year. So Jared Goff, I think they're done. That's it for him. They're going to, we got a bunch of great college quarterbacks. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that we're on the same page, Jay. So I think that with these quarterbacks that are coming out in this draft this year, this 2023 draft, I don't think there's any question that Detroit's going to be looking for their franchise quarterback. And so Jared Goff is done. So, yeah, I'll say Brady's done, Jared Goff is done. And who's the other one?
Matt Ryan.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan's done too. Yeah, he's done. Because he again, the Colts got to stop with these 1-year rentals of these guys that's on their last legs and stealing money. Man, you got like 3 quarterbacks and almost the last 2 quarterbacks have been on the last legs and stealing money from them. So they're gonna have to change course and try a different way because I think this Frank Reich is going to get one more chance. If this whoever the next quarterback is for the Colts, if he doesn't get it done, he's out of there. So yeah, I think that Russell and Aaron Rodgers will be back next year. The rest of them are done.
Let me be very, very clear here. Jason, much love and respect. Cover the World Series, and best of luck to you. If you are telling me that Tom Brady's going to quit playing football in 2 months, and he just got divorced this week, he's an idiot. If you couldn't sacrifice 2 months for the rest of your life,
you got a point.
That's nuts. Either one, you got divorced because you was over her, not because of football. Or two, you're going to keep playing. And I've yet to hear a single word, a single body language that says Tom Brady's looking to stop playing football. And if Tampa wants to move him out, there's no succession plan. And if I'm somebody like Las Vegas and Tom Brady's free or available, or I'm a variety of other teams, you make that call. I think there's no doubt you make that call. I think Miami, even with what they've seen this year, if they can go get that and sit 2 or 4 years so he can rest up, you sit him. So and you talked about the 1-year rentals that Indies has made. There's options. There's a lot of options. So I think he's back. I don't think Aaron Rodgers comes back, not because of the money. They showed him at this deadline, we're in rebuild. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to be on a rebuild. Now, maybe he can force his way out via trade by, being Aaron Rodgers, because he's definitely something. But I think his value's down. You're not going to get him for it's not going to be a long-term deal. You're not going to get one of those done. And the talent hasn't been there. He can't elevate subpar talent. So I think the market is very different. If both are free, I think the market is very different for Brady and Rodgers if they're both available. So Ryan, I think we can agree. Goff, we can agree. Wilson, it seems like they didn't trade any of their receivers, and they got some draft capital back. That leads me to believe they're not ready to blow that up.
Mm-hmm.
But Shannon Sharp said,
and you just gave the guy this big bag.
Shannon Sharp said you got to also think they got a new ownership group. The Waltons, they can eat that money.
But
salary cap wise, you got to get creative. But
you only eat that money if you have a no-brainer franchise quarterback to replace him. And who is that guy?
We just talked about a guy. Like there is going to be quarterback movement in this offseason. So I think there could be options that with that talent, you can still do some things. So we will certainly see what comes with. But I got two. I got Brady and I got Wilson. I think they can't get out that deal. And I think they're starting to hit a better stride. They haven't been as bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was solid last week.
So we're gonna go back to basketball.
But wait, who was your second one? Oh, Brady.
Yeah, Brady. I got Brady and
yeah, gotcha.
I woke up this morning, and after I got through all the coonery going on the TV screen, I realized there's a lot of teams at the top of the NBA standings that I didn't expect to see there. And tonight, Golden State lost again to Orlando at the buzzer. So you can lie if you want to, but tell me who had Cleveland at 6-1 to start the year? Who had the Jazz as a top 3 team?
So
Everybody said
that's the shocker to me.
They were blowing it up.
Yeah,
they were tanking. There was a whole bunch of talk about anti-tanking by good old Adam Silver. I'm not seeing it. I see teams, Washington Wizards, in the playoffs early on. I look at Atlanta. DeJounte Murray is doing everything I thought he would be. It's working. They're working better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But he's clearly the star to me. He's clearly the star. I don't even hear Trae Young's name like that so far this year. All the stuff I hear out of Atlanta is DeJounte Murray. That's just me. But I foretold of this. And then I look at the bottom. I got Brooklyn at 2-6. Yikes. Touchdown Eagles, Dallas Goedert. Thank you, Jalen Hurts. Charlotte is tough. We're gonna get to that in just a minute. Now that Miles Bridges has settled his case.
Oh, he did. I didn't see that.
He settled it. He will do no jail time, 3 years probation.
Okay.
So now he's available. He's a free agent. I would think is he technically still restricted?
I don't think I think he's unrestricted because I don't think Charlotte made a qualifying offer. Matter of fact, they withdrew it, if I remember right.
Right. You're right. So I think there's going to be interest. My question is, he was in line for a max.
No, he's definitely not getting a max. No way.
But why not?
Again, back to our original point about this hypersensitive society. You can't.
You're paying him based on his ability to play.
But Ray, we know that off the field is a factor in contracts.
So help explain that part to me, and I'm normally with you, but I think this situation is unique in that he's not in the deal. His court case is now settled. Like, what am I going to give him on a 1-year rental for what?
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
But we're going to see if you somebody up again next year.
Yeah, he's going to be on a 1-year prove-it deal. And teams are going to want to take a look at, or whoever signs him is going to want to take a look to make sure that he's worth investing in. So I don't see him getting a max deal from anybody. I see him getting a 1-year prove-it deal. And then if he comes in and plays well, then he'll get a max.
That's absurd to me. And if I'm him or his representation, and if he still has it, I'm not taking that.
Okay.
I just don't. I've proved that I can play at a high level. Barring that night, I was in line to get a max deal. The only thing that changed is that night, and that's been settled. Why am I still being punished for that? I'm not proving anything. And even if I did, like Deshaun Watson, who got his deal after everything, I'm sure there's contract language that you're free to get out. So what incentive is there to not pay me my market value? Like, I get what you're saying. I just don't see how that makes any sense in this situation.
It makes financial sense for the owners. Like, they're going to find an opportunity to save money whenever they can. So this is going to be a prime opportunity for them to find a way for them to save money.
But if he's the player you think he is, then there's going to be a market for him that would drive the value up.
But that's
So it's going
assuming
to be
that
a
there's
bunch
going
of mid-level deals.
but that's assuming there's going to be a market for him. That's assuming that the teams have cap space because, all of the, in terms of all of the activity and everything that was already done up until this point, what teams still have cap space to be able to afford his contract?
I would
If,
imagine Charlotte should still have it. They didn't give anybody no money.
Yeah, they should. But we know
For what it's worth, free agency never seemed to have kicked off. Like, we never really got many big deals. Like, I would imagine there's a bunch of teams that probably have some money. If I'm San Antonio, I'm picking up the phone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, if I'm Orlando, I'm picking up the phone. And I don't know what the cap space is for all the teams. If we could, let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to look at it. All right, so we got. Let me see. Hold on 1 second.
According to Cap Tracker on Sports,
yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The Pacers have the most cap space. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And I see Memphis looks like they're third.
Now, if I'm Memphis, I'm definitely taking a look at him because you could use him for scoring punch off the bench.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is order. It's just ordered weird. I'm gonna see if I can sort it by most to least. Memphis only has 705,000.
Oh, okay, yeah. So no, I ain't gonna
have. It's just taking forever to load.
Yeah,
but Indy has 27.8. Spurs have 25.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that the
everybody
Spurs
else is negative. So yeah, I guess there's only two teams that can offer them. And now, or I think Charlotte can go because they can go into luxury tax because I think they have his rights since they drafted him.
Right.
But
I don't know because of the fact that they might have lost his bird rights when they
let him walk.
Yeah, when they didn't offer the qualifying.
I think so. To your point, then I could see the 1-year deal. I'm gonna take the 1 year on a good team, let the money free up again, and then try and cash it when the money's free. So, based on talent, I wouldn't take it, but based on availability of teams that can offer me the money, you probably gonna have to wait that out. And that's your own fault. So, ain't nobody feeling bad for you. Interesting. And Mills goes deep. It is now 29-17. So we took the over on the 8.5, and right now we are sitting pretty there. So the next thing that I did want to ask is there appears to be a Russell Westbrook resurgence afoot. And there are a lot of people I would love to be able to talk to about this, but unfortunately, they cannot be with us.
Wow.
With that being said, does this prove LeBron was the problem?
Wow. That's a reach.
It's just a question.
No, this proves that they have the right coach in Darvin Ham and who's putting them in position to be successful. And this also proves that he was able to communicate with Russ to get him to buy into, because everybody said, oh, Russ will never come off the bench and blah, blah, blah. And, his ego is too big for that. Credit to Darvin Ham. And I don't know if anybody saw his press conference after the game. He kind of got emotional just talking about Russ. But one of the things that he said that stuck with me, he was like, yo, Russ, I told Russ, I just need you to trust me. I'm going to put you in a position to be successful on the court. You just got to trust me. So to me, that's the ultimate sign of a good coach, is that, one, you got this man to sacrifice for the greater good. When everybody said that Russell Westbrook was too selfish or too set in his ways to be able to sacrifice for the greater good. So this is all credit to me to to Darvin Ham coming in here as a first-year coach and getting somebody that's over, 14 years in the league, that's been a starter his entire career, has never come off the bench, to get him to be able to accept that role. And then also, not only is he accepting that role, but now he's starting to figure it out and starting to thrive in some, to some degree. So, and I think he's going to get better the more he gets comfortable with coming off the bench, because one thing we know about Russ, as soon as he comes on the court, he's on go. He's automatic energy. And that's one of the things that are great for guys coming off the bench is they come in and bring energy and bring that firepower. So I just think that this is a credit to Darvin Ham.
So I'll say what you don't want to say.
Yeah, there you go. Ray Bayless.
Listen, the key here is Russ said last year, they asked about Russ being Russ. And Russ said, do y'all really think I got a chance to be me? Those are Russ's words. What we're seeing is Russ having a chance to be Russ. And what does that mean? He gets to dominate the ball. It's obvious. We all knew they couldn't coexist. But if you are going to go and get him, then you got to change your game. The same way other people change their games to match you. And I'm not confident that this is going to go anywhere. They beat a Pelicans team, but Brandon Ingram didn't play. Half the team didn't play. Mm-hmm. And they won on a buzzer beater by the best Matty Ice that currently is playing.
It's like, where did they find this guy?
I never even heard of this kid.
Yeah.
He's ending the game
with the ball. Was dropping DoorDash last year.
So ultimately, I think this is, prisoner of the moment stuff. Russ is Russ. He's playing well, but he can't shoot. LeBron went 0 of 7 last night. Defense is So I don't think it changes much about the trajectory of their season. I think it does help increase Russ's value, which makes him a better tradable asset. But outside of that, I don't think much of what they have going on. And I still don't think they're going.
Thanks, Dev. That's exactly right. Shots are being fired.
With that being said, is it time to close the casket on the man formerly known as the Claw?
Man, I'm really concerned. I thought that when the Clippers, when they signed John Wall, I thought that was going to be the missing piece to the puzzle. And I was just assuming that Kawhi was going to come back, after sitting out the whole year. And I thought he was going to be able to come back and kind of be healthy. I knew there was going to be some form of load management, but not to this level. I never saw this coming. So I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned about this Clippers team because he's the closer. Like, it doesn't work if he's not on the court. Because Paul George is a 2, in my opinion. So you need Kawhi to be able to close games out for you, especially if you're trying to make a run in the playoffs. So, but having said all of that, it's still early. So the fact that hopefully that they're doing this now, with an eye towards the bigger picture, and this is a long season. It's a lot of games in this season. So I'm just hoping that this is something that they get out the way and it's something early, that this doesn't linger for the rest of the year. Because if this lingers for the rest of the year, Clippers are in trouble.
Yeah, I'm like you. I thought John Wall was the missing piece. I said it all summer. He can play. He's going to be a great fit. But it goes nowhere without Kawhi.
No, Makes it all work.
And Skip Bayless said that, I think it was yesterday or today, someone he has been close to the camp. They said he didn't respond well after the surgery. And that's been consistent. And I think that's been evident. He was out a year. And he came back off the bench. I get it, but I didn't get it. And just like that, gone. No real timetable. So the same way, to Chuck's credit, he spoke up about Golden State being old. And I said it last year, Clay it's over. I think the same is true of Kawhi Leonard. I just think that elite player consistently, he'll play and give you a game. Derrick Rose, similar. He'll have one of them nights. But as a reliable superstar in the league, I think that's gone. And Kawhi Leonard is going to be Brandon Roy-ish to me. Like,
oh man,
he did
I
get.
hope you're wrong. Yeah,
but I think the sad part, like if you look at Kawhi's career, is he a Hall of Famer? It's because he got 2 Finals MVPs, but when you look at the numbers, he just don't play. Like I will be very curious to see how history judges him. We saw McGrady get in, but McGrady had more numbers. It just sucks. It sucks to see. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem right, and I can't imagine it can keep going in there and it'll get any better. So I think it's done. Kawhi. Speaking of injuries, lower body injuries, James Harden apparently broke a foot or toe, I believe. Philadelphia also got hit with some tampering charges. Given the start to the season, did James Harden do the right thing by giving the money back? And how concerned are you about your NBA championship game pick, Philadelphia 76ers?
Oh man. Like as right as I'm looking for the NFL with the Bills, it's the total opposite in terms of the Sixers. Well, I thought that they were riding the ship and they were kind of getting back on track, and then this happened. So I don't know. It could be, it could go one or two ways. Maxey can step up and assume a larger role and they keep the ship rolling, or he struggles with the larger role and the more attention on him defensively and game plans and all of that good stuff, the coverages and all that, and they take a step back. So this could go one or two ways. I'm going to lean on the Maxey stepping up because that helps my pick. And then also, not only that, but I'm a big fan of Tyrese Maxey. And I think that he has, having not only Doc Rivers as a coach and also Sam Cassell as a coach, you got 2 point guards that played the position that he played. So you got 2 mentors, 2 guys that you can lean on to help you navigate and help you, be effective and put you in the best position to be effective on the court. So I just think that they will, they'll take a slight hit. I think, of course, I don't think they're going to dominate. I think they're going to be able to tread water. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to be able to tread water. They're going to, probably be, a little, 500, a little over 500. But I don't think they're going to really tank or really struggle with James Harden being out.
Okay. I got the opposite so far. I picked the Bucks. And they look great.
No, you look great right with that one.
Golden State, not so much. And I'm not concerned.
And Middleton is not even back yet, so Milwaukee is
I've been saying he's a guy anyway. So
no, he
does. He does. I'm not a fan, but he's definitely talented. I think the same way I feel about Kawhi Leonard's career is how I feel about the Philadelphia 76ers season. I just don't think it's meant to be. I think there's a lot going on, and I'm not seeing it. Maxey is taking a step. I will be curious to see what happens with James Harden's contract after this year, given the tampering stuff and the investigation there.
Right. Y'all was killing me in my Knicks. And,
yeah.
Doing anything.
I'm not sure how y'all escaped it either, but, it is what it is. I think tampering as a whole is a joke anyway. Like, who cares?
Oh, yeah.
These are grown men. If he want to go somewhere, he'll go somewhere. Let people.
They're talking. There's no way that there's not talking going on because these deals get done at like 12:01, 12:02. There's no way you're negotiating a contract that fast.
We agree. And Devin, not Hall of Fame. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Hold up. 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time NBA champion, how many time All-Star, and he's not a Hall of Famer?
The championships, that's a team achievement. The Finals MVP is hard to ignore.
And 2, not 1, 2.
I know. But what is he like, top 100 in scoring? Is he even top 100 in scoring?
No, don't get me started with your boy Steph Curry. An assist, but go ahead.
I think he might even have a defensive player of the year, so he probably has to get in.
Yeah.
But he's going to get in with like the worst stats ever. He just don't play enough.
The worst? I don't know about that.
Who else you think got like worse? I mean, in his generation. I'm not talking about Paul Harden.
Okay, I might go with that.
But if you look at
and he's a 5-time All-Star. 5-time All-Star, 2-time league MVP, 11 years in the league.
Was he on that top 75 greatest team?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
And he's averaging 19 points for a career, 19.6 rebounds, 3 assists on 50% shooting, 38% from the 3, 86% from the line. He's going to be a Hall of Fame.
The NBA need to redo their Hall of Fame. Nothing about those numbers screams.
Not his whole career, Dev. Only these last few years has he been the load management. When we first came to the league with San Antonio, he wasn't on that load management. Probably his first 6 or 7 years, I would say.
I don't know if it was that long.
Yeah, because the last year in San Antonio. So you got 1
but
year.
You gotta think Pop was already resting players on his own.
Well, he wasn't, but I don't think he was a part of that, if I remember right. Those are the older guys.
I think he was a part of when they sent everybody home.
No, that was Tim Duncan and somebody. And
Kawhi was on that team.
Yeah, but I don't think he was on. He was, but I don't think he was part of that load management because he was younger. I think that was more for like the Tony Parkers and the Manus and the Tim Duncans. But I could be wrong.
But yeah, I think the ride's over. It's been a heck of a career. He'll hang around, but I don't think we'll ever see him play more than 40 games in a year.
He's definitely a slow healer, that's for sure.
And he gets hurt easy. Take a long time to heal, and you break fast. It's not a good recipe. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for giving us the leeway. We didn't have any crazy comments. I do understand the severity and significance to the world of the recent comments by comments. He said some things, but the link posted and Kyrie choosing to stand on what his truth is. I again cannot reiterate on behalf of Raymond, not anybody else. Kyrie Irving, keep going. We need more Kyries. Don't let these media bullies bully you off your stance. You know what is true. And there's a lot of people out here that support you, even if the media doesn't give them a voice to share that. So hopefully we can move past this at some point. Hopefully we can keep some consistency in these kind of conversations. But if not, we'll do what we can with our platform to speak however we choose to speak, and whatever that is what it is. Houston is driving. Kenny, our -8 is in jeopardy, which is why I can't stand gambling.
Vegas always wins.
Vegas keeps building new casinos.
Exactly.
But yeah, did you have any parting words before we get out of here?
Just to reiterate, man. Kyrie's a stand-up dude, comes from a stand-up family. He's going to do the right thing, and he's going to do what he thinks is right. And he does not care whether it's the popular opinion or not. So, I just wish him all the best, man. Again, he's family to me, so I want him to be successful, and I want everything to work out for him. So he's in my thoughts, he's in my prayer. He has my prayers, he has my full support. Anybody, and this is my last thing too, like anybody on social media, anybody that's been disrespectful and say anything about Kyrie, let's be clear. Like if you say anything disrespectful and it's coming on my page and you mention me, you're automatically getting cut. I had to cut somebody the other day that was talking real reckless about Kyrie and then started talking reckless about my Uncle Rod. So if you do that, you come for me, you come for my family, and I don't know you, and you just know me through social media, just know that we're done. So that's not going to be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. So stay up, Kai. Stay up, Unc. Love y'all. And I got you back.
And we out.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.